What's going on, guys? It's Andrew, and this week we are doing a video on reptile shedding. As you can see, Bowser is shedding and he's very hungry because he just came out of his brumation. So we'll be talking about why reptiles shed, and we'll talk about a little bit of what you should do with your lizard to help them shed as best you can. Like we said in the previous video, all reptiles shed a different way. Tegus shed their whole body all at once, except it falls off differently. They'll actually rub their body up against the wood or the decor in the cage so that they rip off large portions like this. They won't... See, he knows it's his skin. He is really hungry and he's searching for food. I do have a banana that we'll feed him today as well, so we'll get that in this video. So we'll just come over here. Hey! Oh! He almost fell out of his cage. So we'll... Bowser, I really don't want you to fall, buddy. Although he could tolerate a fall like that, I just don't want him to injure himself in any way. So we'll close this cage up so he doesn't have a problem. Just a quick side note, do you like the new setup? You guys can see both cages at once in a video. Pretty cool, and it gives us a lot more room. But you can see how active he is now compared to the last video. And this is because the brumation is finally over, and that was kind of like a hibernation for tegus. Most tegus go through this in some part in the year. With Bowser is kind of different because he was undergoing a brumation probably in the summer because I got him and now he's coming out of it. They normally go down for a few months and then come out of it when the winter season is over where they're from. A lot of people have that when they're breeding them in Florida. And apparently tegus only can breed after a brumation period. If they don't feel like they need to brumate, or if they don't want to brumate, they won't, and they're not able to reproduce. So they need that downtime to actually do that. So this is tegus skin. This is from his belly. It's kind of loose. It's not hard like most people would think. Bowser's kind of tracking this right now. But this is from his belly. Now we will be taking some of the skin off for those that it's bothering right now. So, tegus, like I said, shed their whole body all at once, as opposed to water dragons that tend to shed parts of their body. Like you can see Nessie's right elbow right there is kind of discolored, so it will shed eventually. And you can see the bright red that Bowser has, because he's a red tegus. That will become more and more red as he grows. So, what can you guys do to help your lizard shed? A great thing you could do, put them in the bathtub or the shower if you guys have a shower, and run warm water for them. Don't drown them in there, obviously, but we'll do a little clip right now of what I do when Bowser and the water dragons are shedding. So before we do that video, I'm actually going to feed Bowser some banana. Now, fruits and vegetables are a good part of the tegus diet. They aren't all... I'm just gonna have to put you down for 1 second. So this is kind of going to be like the last video. And Brooklyn's in the room now, so she can film.
Oh wow, Bowser.
So, like I was saying, fruits and vegetables are a big part of a tegu's diet. Growing tegus don't really eat fruits and vegetables that much because they want the protein. And Bowser really doesn't like vegetables like lettuce all that much, or any of the vegetables, to be honest. He likes fruit because it's, as you can see, fruit normally tastes better than vegetables do, so that's why they eat it.
He's shed so much.
Yeah. So we'll take some of that off too, and you know, sharing is caring. Okay, why not take some of it? Oh. Not done with that yet? Oh, almost got my finger on that one. Now, like the mouse, he'll chew it up a little bit and then swallow it. They can swallow large prey items, so this is really not that bad for him. Plus, banana's really squishy. I don't want him to bite me here, so. There we go. And you can actually see his teeth in there if you look carefully. Like we talked about in a previous video, tegus have multiple sets of teeth. They actually have molars and curved teeth to help them grab prey and hold on to it. And then also molars to help them grind up plant material like this. Which is actually very interesting. Most reptiles don't have that. Like the water dragons, they just have the one set of teeth. But some reptiles you can remove skin. I don't recommend doing that with smaller lizards because you don't know what you're ripping off. The skin that is clearly still attached, I don't want to rip that off. But I can help him in this process. Tegus have very thick skin, so you're able to remove chunks of their skin and it won't hurt them. So that doesn't come off very easily, so I don't want to rip it off, but I can cut it when he gives me a chance here. So when feeding tegus especially, they do go into a food aggression, which they associate everything with food and they just want to attack everything. But he does know this is me and that he shouldn't be biting me. Let's see, this comes off. He has a little cape now. And you can see different scales towards his head. Right here. Now he has a little hat. Looks kind of ridiculous. So we'll get him into the tub and talk a little bit more in there. So guys, we are in the washroom now, and Bowser is in the tub. I'm going to try and talk a little bit quieter because it's echoing in here. But this really gives you an idea of how long he is. He's about 39 inches. He's probably 40 now, which is almost 4 feet now, which I love. And you'd want to put them in warm water. Like, it will be warm to the touch for you, but it doesn't have to be too hot like you're taking a shower or taking a bath. You have to remember that these guys have sensitive skin. Once you put them in, they're not able to come out. You don't want them to overheat. And if it's too hot, they're not going to be comfortable. You can see Bowser's just kind of laying in the water now. He does enjoy baths up to a certain point, and then he really wants out and he'll start scratching at the sides. There was one time where I put him in and I did find him on the floor. He was able to kind of crawl up the sides and then come out. So once warm water gets on this kind of skin, it becomes more soft and easy to take off. So all this skin right here, you can see that it's going to be shed off. And this will loosen that skin up, allowing it to be able to come off easier. And like we did talk about, he'll rub up against stuff to try and get that off. A lot of reptiles do that, so you want to give your lizard stuff to rub up against in their cage, that like decor, coarse wood chips as the substrate, as well as the wood walls if you're using a wood cage. Also, humidity helps with this. A very humid environment allows them to shed their skin easier. If it's too dry, then the skin gets stuck on them and they're not able to shed properly. And you can even see he's shedding on his hand. And that will come off as well. Now they won't shed their nails. Their nails are made up of the same material as ours. So they won't shed that. That and their eyes are pretty much the only thing that doesn't shed. And we talked about these guys don't shed like a snake would. They don't shed all together in one thing. As you can clearly see, it comes apart. And I'll leave Bowser in here for 30 to 45 minutes at a time. So I got him, he's right here. As you can see, the skin is a lot more loose. Tigers really don't like being picked up, so you guys have to be aware of that. They are terrestrial creatures. Sorry, I'm just wiping off my hands. They are terrestrial creatures, so they don't like being up high, like I said in a previous video. So that's what the flailing around was. So back to the skin. It's very wet right now, so he will be able to scratch that off pretty easily. He looks like he's pretty curious about you guys. And you can see the nice red skin coming in. He is a red tegu, so it will get more and more red as he ages. And the brown or black sections, whatever you guys want to call that color, will disappear and turn into full red. Now, I don't believe he's a solid or a full red tegu. I think he's a hybrid of a black and white as well as a red. Black and white tegus are the same thing, it's just a different morph. Morphs are reptiles that come from the same locality, but they have been bred to the point where where colors are more favored, just like eye color for humans, or any kind of trait that a human would, hair color. So he is still hungry. Now that he's out of brumation, the amount he can eat and the frequency that he eats is going to increase with that. Now, you can see that he has a little line in his stomach right here. Like we talked about on a previous video, that if you have a monitor lizard, you want to see that on them. It means that they're not obese. You don't want obese tegus. A lot of people overfeed them, and that's not good for them. So this line is a nice healthy weight. And he has a pretty girthy tail, so I don't want that to get any bigger. Plus I want him active and healthy as much as possible. And some people find this satisfying, but I can take some of this off. I can rip this, but if he pulls on this, it will help the majority of the skin on his head come off. And you see this came off of his belly, so I'll just be throwing that away. I don't really save them. No point. They'll eventually shrivel up and not look very good. But I think that will wrap up the video about shedding. And we might do a video on the water dragon shedding because it's slightly different. You don't want to rip off pieces like I did with him. That's it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe to our Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. Like I say in all videos, we have it all. And I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.
Thank you.